All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we are talking about something that, let's be honest, drives us all a little crazy with AI. How do you go from those super frustrating, kind of bland answers to something that's actually brilliant? Let's get right into it.
You know the feeling, right? You've got this awesome idea. You type your prompt into the AI, hit enter, and what you get back is just meh. It's so uninspiring. Look, you are definitely not alone here. It's an incredibly common feeling, and it's easy to think, man, this tech just isn't as smart as everyone says it is. So let's say you ask it to write something about healthy eating for teenagers. You'd probably get something like this. I mean, it's not wrong, but it's so generic, it's boring, and honestly, it's pretty useless. It feels like you've hit a wall. But here's the thing. What if I told you this isn't a failure at all? It's actually the starting line. And this is the most important part. The problem isn't some bug in the AI. Nope. It's how we're thinking about it, how we're using it. For too long, we've treated these incredible tools like a vending machine, right? You put one prompt in, and you expect one perfect result to pop out. But to get the really good stuff, we have to completely change our approach. So here's the big mindset shift that's going to change everything for you. We need to stop seeing the AI as just a tool and start seeing it as a teammate. A really, really fast and knowledgeable teammate who, okay, can be a bit too literal sometimes. So that first draft, that boring one we just looked at, that's not the final product. It's just the starting point. It's like your new AI teammate just tossed you a rough idea and is basically saying, all right, here's a basic concept. What do you think, coach? Where do we go from here? Your job is to be the coach, to guide it to that amazing final version. Now, there's a technical name for this whole process, and it's called iterative prompting. Yeah, it sounds a little fancy, I know, but all it really means is having a conversation with the AI. You're not just firing off one question and hoping for the best. You're giving feedback, you're asking for tweaks, and you're building on what it gave you before to get to what you actually need. Okay, so how do we put this into practice? The great news is it all comes down to a really simple, repeatable three-step cycle. Think of this as the engine that's going to turn those weak first drafts into something truly polished. It really is this simple. Step one, you prompt. You give it your initial idea. Then comes the most crucial step of all. You refine. You look at what it gave you, you figure out what's missing, and you give it very specific, targeted feedback. And finally, you repeat. You just keep doing that refinement loop over and over until it's exactly what you want. Prompt, refine, repeat. That is the magic formula. All right, that refine step sounds good in theory, but how do you actually do it? Like, what does it mean to spot the gaps? How do you look at what the AI gave you and figure out what to say next? What should you even be looking for?
Well, here's a super practical checklist you can run through every single time. Just ask yourself these simple questions. 1. Is this detailed enough? 2. Is the tone what I'm looking for? 3. Did it actually answer all the parts of my original question? And 4. Could this be formatted better? You know, maybe with some bullet points or headings to make it easier to read. This little checklist turns you into a pro editor in no time.
And this right here shows why the kind of feedback you give is so important. Saying, make it better is, well, it's useless. The AI has no idea what you mean. But look at the targeted follow-up. Make it more persuasive for a younger audience and add 3 real-world examples. Now that is direction. The AI has a target audience, a specific tone to aim for, and a clear content requirement. I'm telling you, specificity is your absolute superpower here. Okay, so once you get the hang of that basic prompt and refine loop, you can really level up your skills. We're going to talk about chaining prompts to handle much more complex tasks. This is how you build something really substantial, piece by piece, instead of just praying for a miracle from one giant, complicated prompt. And the process for this is really intuitive. First, you start with a general answer, just to get a foundation down. Then you start asking for specific changes. Maybe you tell it to expand on one of the sections, or add some analysis, or even rewrite a whole paragraph from a different point of view. And then finally, once all the content, all the substance is there, then you go in with one last prompt to fix the formatting and style. It's like you're building a skyscraper, but you're doing it one floor at a time. All right, Siri is great, but let's see this in action. We're going to do a quick case study to show exactly how you can take a super vague idea and turn it into something genuinely valuable step by step. So we're going to start with a really simple, really broad prompt. You could already guess what's going to happen, right? Just like that healthy eating example, a prompt this vague is pretty much guaranteed to give you a generic, boring response. There's no audience, no specific tone, no clear goal. And that's totally fine. Remember, this isn't the finished piece. It's just the first chunk of clay on the wheel. And now for our first follow-up. Look at how much more specific this is. We're giving it a clear audience, middle school students. That immediately tells the AI to change its language, its tone, its complexity. And we're asking for a very specific thing. 3 real-life examples. See what's happening? We're not just a user anymore. We're acting like a director, telling our teammate exactly what we need.
Let's keep going. Let's take it another step. So the article is probably better now, but what if we want to show some of the data in a much clearer way? Our next change prompt is a request for something totally new, a formatted table. We're asking the AI to take the information it already has and reorganize it into a specific, easy-to-read format.
And boom, here's the result. Just look at that. We went from a boring 200-word blurb to a piece of content that is targeted, it's detailed, and now it has this perfectly clear, structured table. That didn't happen by magic. It happened because we acted like a director, guiding our AI teammate step by step through that refinement process.
So if there is one single thing you take away from this explainer, please let it be this. You are not just a passive number of the audience, waiting for the AI to put on a show for you. No, you are the director, you are the coach. It's your feedback, your guidance, and your vision that really unlocks what this technology can do.
And that brings us to a really interesting final thought. If you can get results this good by refining your own ideas, just imagine what you could create if you started refining an answer that someone else started. The possibilities are just endless once you stop seeing AI answers as the final product and start seeing them as the beginning of a great conversation. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.